Welcome and thank you for coming to our first ever virtual graduate and professional expo. My name is Kelly Zatorsky, and I am the manager of careers and experiential learning in Careerspace at Trent University. So what Careerspace is it's a department within the university that's designed to give a different perspective on the career sort of landscape by giving Trent students and alumni great meaningful experiences, some necessary perspectives and valuable resources. We have virtual appointments, workshops, online resources, opportunities to connect with employers and recruiters, such as this. And these are all free for students and alumni, which is a question that quite a bit. So you can check out our website, trentu.ca/careerspace. I'll pop that in the chat. And today we're really excited to have our very own graduate studies. We have I'll actually hand it over to both of you to introduce yourselves. But we are just a few pieces of housekeeping before we get going is that if you can put your, both Erin and Sharon, if you can put your contact info in the chat box, that would be helpful. And then we've got about 10 to 15 minutes for questions and discussions following the Q&A. So feel free to ask questions in the Q&A function along the bottom. You can see there's a little box there, and it will be recorded and shared to YouTube, to our Careerspace page, and we can hand it over to Grad Studies to share as well. So I'll hand the floor over. I'm not sure which one wants to go first, but let you two kick it off.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Maloney, and I'm the Graduate Admissions Officer for the School of Graduate Studies here at Trent University. And I have with me today.
Hi, I'm Erin Davidson. I'm the Records and Registration Manager at the School of Graduate Studies.
So we're just going to give you a quick overview of the School of Graduate Studies here at Trent. I'm assuming most of you are Trent current students or alumni. So as you're aware, Trent is a very small university, and that has a lot of advantages. Of course, at the grad level, we are small. And so it's a very close-knit community. You're able to get to know your colleagues, fellow students, and collaborate with them and the faculty. So we do have master's programs, doctoral programs, and a few graduate diplomas as well. This is a list of the research-based master's programs that we have here at Trent. This is kind of the traditional master's program. There's several streams. It can be maybe a one-year course-based program or a two-year thesis-based program. Various programs have a couple streams in them. Some of the programs have been with us for a long time, like the Environmental and Life Sciences program. Our newest program is the Masters of Science in Nursing. So we launched this program this year, and it is joint with Ontario Tech University. Of course, you all know it's expensive to go to university, so I just want to briefly talk about the funding we have available for eligible students. These are for most research-based programs, with a few exceptions listed there. The guaranteed funding is available to everyone who applies, and it's a minimum of approximately $15,000 per year for 1 to 2 years, depending on the program. And all applicants are automatically considered for this. As well, we do have entrance scholarships. Some of them are quite generous, especially in the humanities. All applicants are automatically considered for this as well. If you are offered admission, the details of the funding that is being offered to you will be in your offer letter, so you can kind of review whether that's a fit for you and make your decision about whether we're the best university for you to come to, which of course we think we are.
So this is an exciting venture for some of our Trent students. This is a pathway that we developed for third-year students in their undergrad studies here at Trent University, which would allow you, if you know you're going to be interested in graduate studies in the coming years, this is a pathway to start working on your graduate studies while you're doing your undergrad, and it allows you advanced standing once you do join a master's program here at Trent. So this enables you to shorten the length of your graduate program in that you would be starting it in your 4th year of undergrad. The participating programs are listed at the bottom, and we can definitely give you some more information about these. But if you're in those areas and you are a high achiever in your 3rd year of study currently, we encourage you to reach out to these departments if graduate studies is something that you do have on your mind, because you could take a graduate course in your 4th year of undergrad, have it count towards your degree requirements at the undergrad level, and then give you advanced standing once you do decide to join a master's program here at Trent.
We also have master's programs in the professional stream. These are course-based programs. Some of them, like the forensic science, can be finished in 12 months, kind of some practical experience to prepare you for your career. Several of these programs, the bioenvironmental monitoring and assessment, the forensic science, masters of management, the instrumental chemical analysis, have placements as part of their program. And these programs are non-funded, so funding is not available, but they are a great stepping stone to your career. And many of them will be available to talk to later or at some point today as well. In addition, we do have graduate diplomas. These are shorter or part-time programs in a very kind of specific topic that will again advance you in your career. And I just also want to mention the collaborative specializations. These areas of study, we have expertise in faculty, but we don't necessarily have a standalone program in either Asian studies or feminist and gender studies. And so students who apply to one of our programs can apply to add a collaborative specialization once they're admitted. And then you would have that focus as part of your master's. We have 6 PhD programs here at Trent. Our newest one is the Interdisciplinary Social Research, which is launching this year. And it is focused mostly for those maybe that have taken a master's in social sciences, and it focuses on complex social problems. There's funding available for these programs as well. Minimum guaranteed funding for eligible students is $20,000, and it's generally for up to 4 years during your PhD. And I'd also like to mention that our graduate finance officer is going to be hosting some sessions on applying for scholarships, probably at the end of this month. She will be co-hosting with some faculty to review the application process and give you hints to apply for scholarships. And it's really meant for those people that have high GPAs. There are many scholarships available out there, especially for those with the highest GPAs. And we will direct you to our website, to the scholarship and bursaries page, and you can find more information at that. And so our grad programs are currently open for September 2021 admission. Most programs, the deadline is February 1st. We will direct you to the program pages to find out any specifics. We do have a few programs that also accept applications in January and May, and the majority accept applications for a September start. For admission to all our master's programs, you require an honors bachelor degree with a minimum of a B+ or 77% in the last 2 years of full-time study, and similarly the same GPA in your master's program if you're applying to a doctoral program. At the graduate level, admission is not based solely on your GPA. So there is a whole package of required documents that you need to submit that's also considered as part of your application. And so they will be looking for suitability in your background, a suitable supervisor for you to work with if you are in a research or a research-based program. And it depends on capacity, whether there is lab space and funding available from your supervisor. Some of our programs are limited in enrollment, especially the course-based ones, so some of them are highly competitive. More information on which specific documents are required can be found on the program pages for the program you're interested in. I will mention to Trent students and Trent graduates, it's not necessary for you to order an official copy or upload your Trent transcripts, we have access to that. But if you did complete any courses outside of Trent as part of your degree, such as transfer credits or letter of permission or year abroad, we do require those transcripts to be uploaded and will require the official copies if you are offered admission.
This is just an overview quickly of our graduate tuition rates. They do vary between our programs, especially between our research and our professional-based graduate programs. Domestic students, if you are a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, you will be looking at compulsory full-time tuition of 12 months of approximately between $9,000 for some of our research programs and up to almost $20,000 for some of our professional programs. International students, if there are any listening here, again, your fees are approximately $22,000 to $31,000. And we do offer some help with some of the budgeting and funding arrangements like Sharon mentioned. So some of those funding options that are offered to you in a letter of offer definitely help with the tuition, but it is important that you do realize the fees as well apply to graduate studies. So if you do have an interest in applying for graduate studies, just to summarize some of our suggestive steps, is to prepare your application early. You do want it to be sort of a professional representation and put forward in the best way possible. These programs will take your applications and decide if there is a spot in the graduate program that they are able to offer to you. Our School of Graduate Studies can help you with some of those pieces, and we do have on our website some templates and best practices for some of the pieces of your application. You will apply through the Ontario University Application Centre, where we will collect the information, including the programs you have chose to apply for. And then you will be directed to upload your documents through the My Trent portal. What am I saying? Yeah. Programs will collect applications, usually up until February 1st. Some of our programs do offer early admissions. And at that point, then the programs will notify the applicants as to the decision that's made on your application. Like I said, the School of Graduate Studies is here to help you with any questions or around the process of applications or some of our program details if you do want to inquire with us. Our information is here on the screen, or please reach out. We'd love to sort of chat with you if you do have questions outside of our standard presentation. So yeah, I guess that sort of concludes a brief overview, and we'd like to sort of open it up and see if anybody has any specific questions for us, if we could help answer anything.
And I just did want to mention that many of the programs are also having their own session today that you can attend if you have specific questions. And at 12 o'clock, there will be another session from the Trent Graduate office that will include several of the programs, and it's kind of a question and answer session. So you can check your schedule, and those opportunities are available today as well.
That's great. Thanks, Sharon and Aaron. You can register for those sessions through the same way you registered for this one. So they're available on the Orbis website. So just a reminder to use the Q&A tool. We've got our first one coming in here. I can hand that over to...
When would we apply to an accelerated master's program? So ideally, if you're in your third year, this would be the season to start thinking about this. So depending on the area of study, I would encourage you to go talk to the department at the undergraduate level to start those steps. So what we would need you to do is basically you're presenting that you would like to join the accelerated master's program. You apply for that, including your GPA and area of research. They'll sort of review with you whether this is a pathway that you can take. And at that point, those conversations will sort of lead into some course selection and some discussion about research and possible supervisors for your studies. So first step would be at the undergraduate level, reaching out to your home program or to an academic advisor who can also help you with those steps and making sure that you are in the area to begin that pathway. Are the funding options the same for international students? Sharon, do you want to take that one?
So the guaranteed funding is, and again, it's for eligible students, which most of our applicants are eligible. That funding is the same for an international as a domestic student. The scholarships sometimes vary. There may be some that are specific to international and some that are specific to domestic, so you do need to check the terms of the scholarships. There are a limited number of international fee waivers, which is our international scholarships, I should say, which is a scholarship specific for international students. It is merit-based, and it is something that the program will choose to offer to you. So if you are an international student, that may be something that might be available to you as well. I do see another question in the chat regarding collaborating with a specific professor, and can I use his or her reference to apply for graduate school? And certainly, I didn't mention that. Some of the programs require that you seek out a supervisor before applying. If you are required to do that, it will be listed on the program pages. We do suggest that you reach out and look at the research of those that maybe you're currently know, or others in the university that might be doing research in the area of your interest, and we suggest you do reach out to them before applying. Certainly they can be one of your references if there's a specific professor that is willing to work with you, and you should include their name in your plan of study and also on your application form that you submit through UAC. And then I believe the other question I see here is regarding tuition. I'm not sure if it's tuition or funding, so I'll answer both of them. So if it is tuition, the tuition we're quoting is for 12 months, and the programs, as we say, are somewhere between the course-based or 12 or 16 months, and the professional are generally, the research are either 1 to 2 years at the master's level and generally 4 years at the PhD level. And for every term that you are registered, so if you go a little bit further than the 4 years, you are required to pay the tuition. So the tuition is for every term that you are here at Trent. And the funding, again, your offer letter will tell you how long the funding is for. What the amounts I was quoting is per year, and sometimes you might be offered 1 year of funding in a course-based with major research paper masters, and sometimes you might be offered 4 years of funding in the PhD programs. So the offer letter will let you know about that. So are there any other questions out there that we can answer? We do encourage you to check out our frequently asked questions section of the website. We try to keep that update as things are going. As I said, we have opened up applications for this year. If you are interested in some of the science-based research programs, some of those do have starts in January and May. Depending on the research or field work you're involved in, many of those supervisors prefer that you start in May, so keep that in mind. The other programs mostly begin in September. We do encourage you to apply early because that the program has the chance to review your application early, and it may increase your chance of having a spot.
Sorry, Sharon. The newest question was just around, is there going to be a presentation today by psychology? And I believe Dr. Fournier, who is the director of the psychology program, will be joining us at noon at the Graduate Studies panelists. So if you do have any questions specifically for psychology, you could join us at noon, or definitely reach out directly to the psychology program. Are there residence options? Oh, sorry, there's one before that. What would the first semester of graduate studies look like?
Well,
that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, it is hard to answer. It really depends on which program you're involved in.
And which term you're starting.
Yeah, I mentioned that sometimes if you're in a program with a supervisor and you're doing research in the field, your first semester might involve field work. Several of the programs have some mandatory courses you need to take at the beginning. The course-based professional programs are all they are kind of similar to undergrad in the sense that you will follow a specific schedule. So it's very individual, and we encourage you to reach out by email. If you don't have an opportunity to go to the program sessions today, reach out by email to the programs for any specific questions about how the courses run and what it would look like.
And then are there residence options for graduate students? So we do have some housing available down at Trail College, which is our downtown college attached to the university. And we do have some limited housing down there, which is two bedroom apartments that graduate students can live in. As well as we have a housing office here at Trent University that can help all of our students find suitable housing for their needs, or roommates or rooms for rent and that sort of thing. So we do have a really active TGSA as well, who helps promote some of the housing options for graduate students.
I guess I could ask a follow-up question actually to that. Just as we know, we're in some strange times with COVID. Mm-hmm. So it's tough to answer the question about what does the first semester look like for, it's dependent on program, it's dependent on start date, but what is it, are there remote opportunities for students that maybe aren't living near campus but interested in beginning their graduate studies? Will there be a sort of moving forward remote opportunities as a result of the current reality?
So currently, for the January term, it will be very similar to September with a kind of a blended approach. There will be some on-site courses, but many of the programs will also be offering an online opportunity to stay up if you're not able to come to campus. So I think Erin knows a little bit more about that. But just moving forward, I will mention that the bioenvironmental monitoring and assessment course is offered mostly online, as well as the Masters in Science and Nursing course. So those are kind of our two graduate programs that typically can sort of be done distance. There are a few, there is a capstone course you need to attend here for the bioenvironmental monitoring and assessment course. This is the course-based professional one. And nursing, I think, has a few options of other things that you need to be involved in, but for the most part, those two courses are online.
Yeah, and the rest of our graduate programs, they're not web-based graduate programs at this time, but like Kelly said, in interesting times, we are offering some remote learning opportunities and some blended approaches. But moving forward, we're very hopeful that we can get these face-to-face and back at the campus again.
And the majority of our programs do take place at the Peterborough site. The Masters in Management is based out of the Durham site, but the rest of the programs in our usual times take place here at the Peterborough site, either at Trail College or Simon's campus.
Hey, so just a quick reminder, Sharon, if you don't mind popping your contact information into the chat so that everybody can see that there. We've reached our time, so we have to wrap up. I just want to say thank you so much to Erin and Sharon for coming today to walk us through. I'm sure we could have spent much longer together going through all of the options, but as we said, there are multiple opportunities to attend sessions for individual programs today, as well as a panel at noon. So thanks again for coming, and thanks to the students for coming as well. It's always great to see some excitement around the programs. This will be recorded, as I said, and it will be shared and available after the fact. So if there's anything that you thought maybe you didn't catch, and the slides will be available as well with the recording. So thanks again, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you enjoyed this sunny day after our dreary Thursday.
Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, thanks everyone.